Hey, what's going on YouTube? In this video, I'm going to go over my stay at the Nobu Hotel in Cabo San Lucas. And just to get it out the way, this was probably one of the best hotel resorts that I've ever been to. Personally, I wasn't like a huge fan of Cabo. It was okay, but I would definitely go back to Cabo just for this hotel. Now, my wife pretty much only wants to travel to places with the Nobu Hotel, which is like just 12 cities right now, I think. So pretty limited, but it was really just that good. So I'll give you guys a little room tour, of course, talk about the overall property, like the pool areas and the restaurants, as well as give you guys my thoughts on the overall service, because the service was absolutely outstanding. So I'll talk more about that later. And then of course, I'm going to go over how I actually pay for the hotel using my credit card points, because that's what this channel is about. So if you are new to this channel, my name is Will. I go over travel reward credit cards and how to pay for travel without breaking the bank. So if that's something that you're interested in, be sure to hit that little red subscribe button and let's go ahead and jump into it. So first, let's go ahead and do the room tour. So we pretty much had the cheapest room that you can get, which is a deluxe king with a golf course / desert view, which was a pretty nice size room. I mean, it wasn't an ocean view, but I would tell you this right now that the hotel is not very high. It's only 2 floors, and I think one building had 5 floors. And the ocean view can definitely be pretty expensive. So just keep that in mind. Really think about how much time you're actually going to spend in the room. But without further ado, let's go ahead and look at that room tour. All right, guys, so I'm going to do a little voiceover for this room tour because the audio on my cell phone was not that great. But let's go ahead and set a little mood music while we go through this tour together. So here I am standing in the entranceway to our deluxe king room. Again, this is the most standard room that you can get. Pretty standard layout for a hotel. You can see my wife back there doing her thing. And to our immediate left, you have your closet. We have plenty of drawers and shelving for your clothes. You can see that you can get your laundry done. The room does come with a steamer instead of an iron, which my wife was super excited about. Now she wants to get a steamer for the house to iron her clothes. The room does come with 2 robes, a pair of slippers for each of you, a yoga mat, I believe, and an umbrella. Now, for my guys with large feet, the slippers probably won't fit you. I wear 11.5 or 12 shoe, and they were definitely way too small. So that's just a thing. It's just something I had to live with. Now here behind or to the right, we do have the bathroom. And this was definitely one of the reasons why we got this room, to be honest. I mean, this bathroom it's just beautiful. I'm a sucker for the wood finish. I think that's the main thing. The water does work. Then we do have a hair dryer down here, some extra toilet paper. Got the scale to keep yourself accountable while on vacation, so we definitely use that. Now I'm going to pause here for just a second, and I just want to say the one thing that my wife didn't like about this room is the fact that there was no makeup mirror, those mirrors with the lights in it. I'm sure ladies, know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it didn't have that mirror so that she can easily apply her makeup. So that was her big negative when it comes to this room. Then you got your own separate space for the toilet, which was nice. And then we have the bathtub shower area. So this is very Japanesey in the fact that the bathtub and the shower are kind of in their own space here together. So we definitely like that. You can see that it has the rainfall shower head plus another handheld one that you can have. The bathtub wooden, nice little stone backdrop here with the skylight coming down. It's pretty nice. We didn't get to use the bathtub, but it was still nice to have. Now, in terms of like the toiletries and whatnot, we didn't recognize the brand, but my wife wasn't a huge fan of the shampoo and conditioner, and it was fine. I only used the shower gel, so it was fine for me. And now we have the Nespresso machine, the water boiler, and you do have a functioning teapot here. I thought it was just decoration, but you can make tea if that's something that you want to do, I guess. In this box here, we had some masks that you can wear around the hotel, plus some hand wipes. You had the remote control for your curtains. Now, this thing was not very intuitive to use, to be honest. It was kind of a pain, but it's fancy, I guess, right? So in order to get outside, you couldn't just pull the curtains manually. You had to use the remote, which was always annoying. And I would pretty much we never actually opened the curtains, to be honest. We just kind of went around the curtains to go outside. Then you have some extra dishes, coffee cups and glasses. refrigerator down here with nothing in it. All the alcohol on the hotel, you know, you got to pay for. This is not all inclusive. Got some more dishes down here. I love the Nespresso machine. I love some Nespresso. Love it. And then you have your king size bed. Now the mattress on the bed was perfect in my opinion for a hotel. It wasn't too hard and it wasn't too soft, as my wife demonstrates here. Good job, wife. She was happy with it. So here we have the 65-inch TV. So definitely nice size TV, and it does have built-in Chromecast. So that's pretty nice to have. You got a little pool back here, and I wasn't sure if we were able to keep this. I meant to ask, but yeah, we left it there. And then walking towards the door, you know, you have a typical desk. You have a day bed with some pretty comfortable pillows, probably the most comfortable pillows in the entire room, honestly. And then stepping outside onto our balcony, you do have like a couple of chairs that you can sit at and look out onto the golf course slash desert. So this is the top floor, the second floor of this building here. And then right below us, you know, some of these other rooms have their own private pools. So I think the private pool rooms are actually the same price as the room that we have. I didn't see these private pool rooms as an option on their website. So that was the room. Overall, pretty great. Sadly, the wife did not get to use that very lovely bathtub, and she does love her baths. But the only negative thing that I could say about the room was that the pillows were a little bit too soft for me. My head pretty much sank right into the mattress. My wife didn't really have this issue, but I could be because of our weight difference. But yeah, I can say that's the only negative that I have about the room. Other than that one negative, definitely love the room. But let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the property. So there's really not much to it. The hotel is pretty small. Here's a view using my drone. So you have 3 different pool areas with this hotel. You have the Cortez pool, which is this light blue pool. This is their main pool and what they call the fun pool. They have DJs that play from 12 to 5 p.m. every day. There's a bar restaurant right next to the pool. The pool chairs actually protrude into the pool, which was pretty interesting. And you have cabanas all around the pool as well. Now the cabanas are free, but it is first come, first serve. They have a couple beds inside that you lay on and just chill. Now the Cortez pool also has a detached pool with a swim up bar and a very large jacuzzi in the middle. I'm not sure who will be using a jacuzzi in Mexico, but they do have it. The swim up bar wasn't open when we were there, and I'm not sure that's because of just the number of guests at the hotel. I mean, the hotel felt fairly full, maybe like 3/4 full, but yeah, there was no one in that pool really, and unfortunately that swim up bar wasn't open. Now the pool on the other side of the hotel is the Pacific pool. So whereas the Cortez pool was right out in the sun, this one was more in the shade. It had lots of palm trees right on the edge of the pool, which provided that shade. And it was just, for me personally, a little bit more comfortable because I can only take so much sun. So if you're like me, you'll probably be in this pool a lot more often. Now the cabanas here are pretty nice because they are right on the edge of the pool as well. So they actually had their own steps leading right into the pool. In this area of the hotel, you also see that the rooms have their own swim up option directly leading into this specific pool, which I would probably consider next time if I were to stay at this hotel. Again, we're all about that pool life, so you know, having that little convenience definitely would have been great. Now on my side of the hotel where we were staying at, the bottom floor rooms had their own little mini pool in each room, but talking with one of the guests that we met at the pool, he was saying that this wasn't the move because the water in those little pools get really hot. It doesn't take much to actually heat them up, so he pretty much never used it. So just something to keep in mind when you're booking your room. Finally, there is an adults only pool, which honestly there weren't that many kids at this hotel anyway, but you know, having that option was pretty nice. But this is a infinity pool, and I believe it was called the Sunset Pool. So what's nice about this pool, as the name implies, you can go out there. It's right off the beach, so you can definitely watch the sunset over the ocean. So that's what we did our first night, and it was just absolutely spectacular. Now, of course, the hotel is on the beach, but in this part of Cabo, it's illegal to get in the water. It's just too dangerous with the large waves and the currents. You wouldn't survive. If you walked up to the water, you would see why it's illegal to get in there. It was pretty crazy. So, Cabo is very much a pool city. There are only a couple places where you are allowed to swim in the ocean, and of course, this wasn't one of them. But I was actually okay with that. I booked the hotel knowing I was going to be in the pool the whole time. As far as other things to do at the hotel, that's pretty much it. It's pretty much just sitting around the pool, chilling, drinking. There's a full service spa as well, but that was definitely out of our price range. It was pretty expensive for just some basic services that I know I can get cheaper here in America, and I'm cheap. I'm not going to spend that much money for that type of stuff. But yeah, if you bring your kids, there's really nothing for your kids to do. This hotel is not aimed for a family trip, so just let your parents watch the kids for the week. Don't bring them. Now let's go ahead and talk about the food and drinks. So if you don't know about the Nobu brand, it's founded by a Japanese celebrity chef named Nobu. So food is a big part of the hotel chain's culture, and this location does not disappoint. Everything that we had was absolutely amazing. I mean, I do consider myself kind of a foodie, former Yelp elite for several years, and yeah, everything was just terrific. So, they have a total of 5 different restaurants, which I'll get into in a second. But let me just say this right now. If you are a vegan like my wife, they do have, quite a few options for you at each of the restaurants. And even one restaurant has like an entire page of vegan appetizers, entrees, and desserts. So it's definitely a very vegan friendly hotel. So I'll go through the different restaurants. I'll throw some pics up of my food as I discuss. So first you have the Nobu restaurant, which is their flagship restaurant around the world, of course. So this is a Japanese fusion restaurant. So this is the place you'll want to go if you want to say get sushi, and the menu is actually pretty large. So they have a lot of options for you. Again, it's Japanese fusion, so not quite traditional, and everything that we had here was pretty good. Next we have the Ardia. Now this is just a traditional steakhouse, but this is that restaurant that I was talking about earlier with the vegan menu, a huge menu that my wife definitely loved. And then moving on, we have some more, I would say, basic restaurants, but the first one is the Pacific. Now this restaurant serves kind of a Mexican style menu. It's open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whereas the Ardia and the Nobu are only open for dinner. And the Pacific, as the name implies, is next to the Pacific pool. Next we have the Malibu Farm. Now this is actually a restaurant that's based out of California, so maybe if you're out there you've heard of Malibu Farm, but they're known for sustainably sourced farm-to-table cuisine, and this restaurant is open for breakfast and lunch. Next we have the Playa Bar. This is just serving pretty much bar food. It's right next to the Cortez pools, which is those light blue pools, just to remind you guys. And then finally we have a cafe which serves coffee, smoothies, and pastries, and you do have room service as well. And I didn't order anything from room service, but looking at the menu, it looks like it pulls a lot of different items from different restaurants on the property. So the room service menu actually looked pretty solid. Now I would have taken advantage of it, but again, we were pretty much out and about the entire time. Now maybe I should have mentioned this earlier, but Nobu is not an all-inclusive hotel. You have to pay for all of your food and drinks while on the property. And outside of Nobu and Ardia, which are more upscale restaurants, you can pretty much expect to pay like $25 to $30 per entree at all the other restaurants. Nobu and Ardia are going to be a little bit more fancier. Ardia, not too expensive though. I would say I paid maybe $70 for a ribeye steak, which is about what I would pay at a steakhouse here in America. And that ribeye was excellent, so it's definitely worth the money in my opinion. And then Nobu wasn't actually like too expensive either, to be honest. Sushi was a little high, but it's actually really good food here as well. So I would say, again, you would probably pay maybe $40, $50 per person. It kind of depends on what you order, but you do get pretty good portions at all of these restaurants. So don't think you're gonna get like just a little portion. You guys saw the pictures earlier, so you do get really large portions with what you're paying for. Now the Nobu restaurant does have a happy hour between 5 and 6 p.m. where they have some stuff from the main menu half off, plus some drinks as well. So this is something I didn't know until like my second to last night there. They don't really advertise it, I guess, but one of the servers told me about it, so we definitely hit that up. And when we got there, there was and nobody there. It was completely empty. We were the only people there. I think there's like one other group outside, but yeah, if you're going to be going to the Nobu, think about, you know, booking dinner at like 6 or 6:30 so you can go from happy hour straight into dinner. It'll be a pretty good idea. And just to put this out there, guys, be sure to make a reservation for the Nobu, because the Nobu restaurant does serve outside guests as well, so it does get a lot more crowded than the other restaurants. And maybe consider booking a reservation for Ardia as well. Just something to keep in mind. When I say book a reservation, I say book a reservation at the same time you book your room. Just go ahead and get out the way. Now, as far as drinks, expect to pay about $18 for a cocktail. So definitely not cheap, but they are good cocktails. They do have a decent amount of alcohol. They're not, you know, being cheap when it comes to those pours. So I can appreciate that, but even then it is still pretty expensive. So if you do plan on getting messed up, maybe consider going into town to a liquor store, buying a bottle of tequila or whatever your favorite alcohol is, and then just bringing it back to the hotel to take some shots. Now, in talking about leaving the hotel, just realize that the hotel in this area is a little bit further away from the actual city. It's about a 15 to 20 minute drive to get into, I'll say, the heart of the city. So it's not too bad, but it's not close either. And if you do happen to rent a car, I think valet parking here is absolutely free, so it's nothing that you have to worry about with that. Now for the service, best service ever. I mean, I find in general Mexico has some pretty good service wherever you go. It's just, you know, a really big tourism country, right? It's a really big part of their economy, so they're going to be at their best, right, to make sure more people come. But this was just a step above the best, in my opinion. I mean, just like, for instance, checking in, you walk in, they give you like a hand towel to, you know, kind of wipe the sweat off you because it's so hot. And then instead of like going to like the front desk where they'll look you up in the computer, they would have sent you an email like a few days ahead of time to asking you what time you're going to be arriving. So by the time you actually get there, pretty much everything is ready. You just have to sign a few things, make sure that your credit card is correct, that they have on file, and that's pretty much it. It was very seamless and painful experience, and it was just absolutely great. So check-in was great, and then the concierge takes you to your room. Now you get your own concierge. I believe they call them ambassadors, and what I mean by that is that if you need any help while you're on the property, you can just text this guy and they'll help you out. So say if you need to make reservations for dinner, either at the hotel or maybe some other restaurant that's in town, they'll help you with that. If you need to get a ride to the city, just send them a text. They'll get that booked for you. If you need to book an excursion off the property, they'll do that for you as well. So, you know, having that, you know, flexibility, just text somebody real quick without having to go to the front desk or go back to my room to use the phone was definitely a nice touch that I personally haven't experienced before. Now, service at the pool, again, absolutely excellent. I mean, they were fast, they were attentive, they were friendly. If there were a pool server university, they'd be their top graduates. I mean, these guys were just absolutely excellent. And again, it was that personal service that you got. Like, as soon as you get there, you know, they get your room number, and pretty much for the entire time that you're there, they're going to be calling you by your name. So it was Mr. Will the entire time. My last name is pretty hard to say, but they were calling me Mr. Will. It just makes you feel special, and I just love that. And there's this one guy just walking around, just cleaning people's glasses and sunglasses. That's all he was doing. And I just thought that, you know, it's that little attention to detail is what makes this hotel so great. And then when you get into the restaurants, you know, more of the same, just really great service here as well. Again, service at the whole hotel was just excellent. Now let's go ahead and talk about how we pay for this. So I kind of already talked about this in some of my other videos, but we pretty much book directly with the hotel. And that's because the hotel has a few specials when you do so. So you can get that 4th night free, you can get discounts on food as well, and you can get some spa credits if that's something that you're interested in. Now, although we did pay cash when booking directly with them, we did kind of indirectly use our Chase Ultimate Reward points to pay for that. And that's because right now Chase has the pay yourself back, where you can get a little boost when you use your points towards a statement credit when you're redeeming your points for restaurants or groceries. So you get a 50% boost with the Sapphire Reserve card and a 25% boost if you use the Sapphire Preferred card. So we indirectly redeemed enough points to cover the cost of our hotel redeeming points for past restaurant and grocery spend. Now this hotel does show up on the Chase travel portal as well, and I did look up to see if the cost of the hotel on the travel portal was the same if you were to say book directly with the hotel, and it was, but you're not going to be able to take advantage of all those little extra things like the 4th night free if you use the Chase travel portal. So just keep that in mind. We also spent a couple of days at the Hard Rock Hotel, which is an all-inclusive resort, which is literally next door to the Nobu, but honestly not nearly as impressive. It was fine as an all-inclusive resort, but it just didn't wow us. The Nobu just set the bar way too high for us, and now my wife is spoiled. But I'll probably do a video on that stay in the next week or so. We were only there for a couple of days, but I did get some footage of the room and the hotel as well. So expect a video on that coming soon. But yeah, let me know down in the comments, guys, if you ever been to Cabo and where have you stayed? Have you ever been to any Nobu hotels? Let me know down in the comments. But thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more videos. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.